transmit and receive on. And most interesting, you'll find a link that will take you to YouTube, where we stream our nets held Wednesdays and Saturdays between 8 and 9 o'clock. Also, we'd like to thank the SeaTac Repeater Association for letting us use WW7ATS repeater 147.08. And note for participants, you do need a tone change of 103.5 for this net. If you're transmitting on 147.08, you do need a tone of 103.5 for this particular net. This is Dave, KD7CYM. I'm going to pause in case anybody has emergency traffic or needs to make a contact before our net gets fully underway. Again, this is Dave, KD7CYM, on behalf of the Western Washington Amateur Television Society. Hearing done, again, welcome to the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net. I'm Dave, KD7CYM. Checked in by video link already is Ron, KD7QKU, Bob, K9PQ, Richard, K7ITX, Wade, W7ITL, Jim, N7QO, James, WU7N, and myself, Dave, KD7CYM. Is there anybody else wishing to check in? Hearing none, well, we'll get the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net started with Ron in Tacoma.
Okay, thank you very much, Dave. KD7QKU here. Well, Wade, I don't know what you're doing, but I don't have any picture. I'm locked in with my receiver, but it says WW7ATS on the bottom of my TV, and it has the date, but I don't have any picture. So I don't know what's going on. So, what have I been doing today? Well, I have this old boat sitting in my driveway, and I checked the lights on it today to make sure the lights work. Turn signals work, brake lights work, one tail light work. We're going to take it out to my son Mike's house tomorrow, get it out of the driveway. I'll be glad to do that. And of course, I've been chief cook and bottle washer around here. I'm running out of ideas on what to make for dinner. I did take a little pork roast out of the... You get these little pork roasts, they're loin roasts. They come in, they're marinated. They come in a, plastic. They're like a big hot dog, and they're good for 2 or 3 nights for Joanne and I. So I take one out of the freezer, and I'm going to thaw it. I guess I'll try to cook it tomorrow. Have that for dinner. But last night and tonight we had Chinese food. I've been going down the Safeways to the deli. We've been living out of the deli. I can make breakfast, lunch, and dinner, but it's breakfast and lunch. But dinner is a difficult one. So anyway, I've made a pot of beans, and that's real good. We've been having that for lunch. So that's about it. Like I say, Wade, no picture. I don't have any picture, and you're sitting in the dark, I think. We can't see you. I can see the doorway light behind you, but I don't see you in the room. So I don't know if you are messing with the repeater or what's going on. So back to net, KD7QKU.
KD7QKU, thanks for that. Well, let's go to Western Washington Amateur Television Society President Bob, K9PQ. And we'll try again, K9PQ. No response on Bob, K9PQ. Let's go to K7ITX. Richard in Arizona.
Okay, well, I think I'm hooked up. Okay, thank you, James, for the thumbs up. Um, yeah, we've had some really nice weather lately. Now, it got a little warmer than I would like, at the high noon, so to speak, but it cools down faster now. It gets 60s and 50s at night. Even though it might get up to, 90 in the 90s, it just isn't as intense. And so with that, now I have the door open a lot more, which I really enjoy. I like to get the fresh air going, and we have such a nice garden and lawn area that our condo comes into, and it's very, very pleasant. It was so pleasant that I even made it over to LA Fitness, believe it or not. Now this is someone that can't get around without a walker, so that's saying quite a bit. But the walker should be a thing of the past, and but it still isn't present. So I guess I should say the walker is going to be missing in the future. But I'm in recovery mode, and I don't know how long that's going to take. But that's why I went to the gym, got on the recombering bicycle. That's very pleasant and a nice workout for the legs. Well, anyway, I could talk all night about my problems, but I won't. So anyway, while I gather my thoughts, I'll send it on to Net Control, K7ITS. Back to Net Control.
ITX, thanks for that. Well, let's go to Tacoma to Wade, W7ITL.
Dave, K9PQ is back.
PQ, why don't you take the air? What say you right now?
Hi. Yeah, so Wade and I were both trying to work out a problem, and I think Wade had just walked away for the moment as well. I didn't notice that my streaming up leaving my house was not working, and that's because my IP changed, and that was because I lost power for a few hours sometime over the weekend. I forget which day it was. We had a somewhat unexpected windstorm, and it wasn't one of those real strong ones that we normally expect in mid to late November. But it dropped a tree on a power line, and it must have done it a few different places because there were several thousand people without power in a few scattered locations around here in the north end. But they got my power back in a couple hours, but that's why my streaming wasn't working. Every time that happens, my IP changes and I have to update it, and I forgot to do that. So we're all back working again. Well, let's see. So unfortunately, because I was distracted with other things, I didn't hear what other people were saying, but I know Richard's really looking forward to getting back up here, and hopefully that's going to happen pretty soon. And I don't know if Ron mentioned this, but I had a pleasant surprise when I looked at Jim Andrews' newsletter today. Ron had sent a message to Jim, and he made a nice write-up for our club, especially talking about Wade and everything he's done to get us to digital, and how as a club we're going to digital. So it was very cool to see that recognition in his newsletter. The other news I have along the lines of going digital is I finally think I have found the right spot, and I was hoping to be there tonight, but I wasn't feeling real good today, so I decided to stay home. But Magnuson Park should be an excellent location, and it's one where I can drive there, I can park. It's right at the water. It's right at Lake Sammamish, or Lake Washington, rather, on the east side, and should have a perfect, completely clear, perfect view up to the repeater. So that's my plan. I did go out and try mobile. I think I may have mentioned this on the net already. I went out and tried mobile around where I used to live in Maple Leaf, which, from my house, I would have had an excellent view, and I parked right by my house, but unfortunately, my house sits up higher. My old house that I used to own sits up much higher, and when I was down just using the mag mount on my vehicle, I was down with trees and houses and all kinds of stuff in the way, so I never did get a good signal from there. I got about 30 seconds of a good signal on Bothell Way, coming from Lake City down into Lake Forest Park. Unfortunately, I was in traffic. I couldn't stop, but it was really encouraging. So at least I know my gear is working, and I should have a great signal in from Magnuson Park. So that's my plan for this weekend. I may get out and do a little testing before then, just to see how it looks. But I hope to be coming to you all on the air, mobile, on Saturday. I guess that's good for starters. I'll send it back. K9PQ.
K9PQ, thanks for that. We'll get a little ID here. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net on the 08 machine. Well, let's try for Wade, W7ATS in Tacoma.
Short, guys, because I am tired. I've been doing a bunch of studying for work on some certification I'm trying to get done, so I'm still kind of worn out for 3 days of reading and test taking, or pre-testing. But I did have a long conversation with both Jim and Rob today. Spent about an hour with Rob. We're trying to figure out, we're having it looks like maybe an intermod issue going on at the repeater site where signals are getting into the receiver front end, and it's causing it to really skip a lot and frame drops. So when I actually do my video in, you're going to notice that it's quite different as far as like, you're not seeing it right now because I'm not showing my upstream, because I found I actually just got my transmitter came in the mail today. So maybe on the next round I can switch myself in, but you'll notice that the frames are dropping quite a bit. We're going to have to figure out how to get the signal issues up there at the repeater site under control so that it doesn't pick up all the stray signals that are hanging out on the site getting into the receiver. So 1.2 is coming in crystal clear tonight. Ron can probably say yes or no, up, down, or something. On my side, it looks really clean. But yeah, on next round, I'll try to check in with my transmitter. So with that said, I'll turn it back to Net.
W7ITL. Wade, thanks for that. Let's go to Jim, N7QO in Covington.
N7QO. Thank you, Dave. Good evening, everyone. Ron, well, what's for dinner? I got to go back and tell you my standby has always been pizza. And what's really good about it is that you get a pizza, there are 2 servings there, and it even comes with dishes. You just cut the box in half, and one of you gets the top half and the other gets the bottom half. And so you don't even have to do dishes. No muss, no fuss, no silverware. Just wash your hands when you're done. And know, that's just my thought. Let's see. Dick, good weather. Yeah, I've noticed it cooled down a little bit, at least during the days in Phoenix. Glad you're enjoying it there. I certainly enjoyed the climate when I was there, although my wife doesn't seem to think it's cool enough there normally. Oh well. Made it to LA Fitness in recovery mode. That sounds wonderful, and you certainly sound a whole lot happier than you were not too long ago here. So very glad to hear that. Bob, lost streaming. Not exactly sure. I don't know. Maybe I have some misunderstanding. I thought that we disconnected all of the analog portion of the repeater. I was thinking initially you were using the grand stream, but then I don't know. So how other than through the internet, how could we get a signal to the repeater nowadays? And let's see, Magnuson Park. Yeah, that. Good luck with that. Hope no one messes with you during the nets. And I know we'll be changing clocks next month sometime. But no matter how you slice it, it's going to be dark at night. Wade, yeah, I could believe you're worn out between work and doing stuff for us on the digital side of the repeater. Thanks for doing that. Yeah, Intermod at Cougar. Oh, there's no Intermod there. Shoot, people can't even open their car doors using a key fob unless you hold it right up to the door. Yeah, that can be a problem. Back to you, Dave, and 7QO.
In 7QO, thanks for that. Let's go to James, WW7N in Northeast Bellevue.
Thank you, Dave. Well, Ron, I'm glad to hear that Joanne seems to be on an improvement trend there, and I'm sure your housekeeping skills are also on an improvement trend as well. Practice makes perfect. Yeah, good thumbs up there. Richard, getting to LA Fitness, that's pretty impressive. I hope you can continue to do that. I find it's good just to get out. When I'm locked up for a while, you've been locked up for a lot longer than I ever have been. So you probably should just make sure you get out somewhere. Bob, I think Jim's comments after dark in Seattle. I think you should have cameras set going 4 directions and run 4 channels, which I guess you can do on DVP terrestrial. That way we could live stream your kidnapping and gruesome murder. But wait, you're not on right now, so you can't even see what I said. Anyway, well, we'll have to see how that goes. Oh, wait, you're still there. Okay. Okay. Well, let's see. Nothing too exciting going on today. I was really quite the couch potato. I got a couple of things done, and then I degenerated into my favorite activity since COVID, which is surfing the internet. And actually caught myself watching streams of cat videos. So it wasn't the most productive day in the world, but at least I was awake. Got out to do some exercise, talked to somebody about situation with our homeowners association, and so that was productive time, and got exchanged some text messages with Wade on ways I might be able to get some feedback, since I guess I can still turn the transmitter on and off, but nothing else. So hopefully we'll get someone else who can do that too. About it for me, James WW7N in Northeast Bellevue. It's 8:21 after the hour, so let me turn it back to Dave, our net control, and see if anybody else wants to join.
KD7N. Thanks for that, James. And this is Dave, KD7ZYM in Lake City. Well, let's see. Boy, I'll pause momentarily here in case anybody else wishes to join the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net. Again, this is Dave, KD7ZYM. Hearing none, again, this is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net. I'm Dave, KD7ZYM. Well, I seem to be catching something, either a cold or my allergies have been speaking to me today. But anyway, I have had the runny nose from you know where. But anyway, taking some antihistamines, and that seemed to help a lot a bit. Well, as for today, I had to do some banking and do some financial things. So that was a lot of paperwork I got out of the way. But I did notice on television news tonight that Boeing rejected their offer by 64%. So I guess we'll be seeing pickets on the street again. So anyway, 64% is a pretty overwhelming no, so to speak. And that's how that ballot went. And speaking of ballots, I got my ballot out today for the general election and filled that out. So it'll be in the mail tomorrow. So I got that out of the way, and that'll be done. So this is Dave, KD7ZYM, and this is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net. Well, let's go up to Ron, KD7QKU, the new culinary chef of Tacoma.
Okay, thank you very much, Dave. Good evening to the group again. KD7QKU here. Well, I have a beautiful picture. I have a P5 picture. It's really nice of everyone. I'm pretty much locked in. In the beginning, I was often on. My green light would go out a little bit, and then the red light would appear for a second. But right now, I've just been solid green light, so I'm locked in right now. And let's see, it's always good to see everybody, and it's good to hear from everybody. Yeah, I kind of share. Somebody said that Magnuson Park. I wish Bob wasn't going there at night. Unfortunately, I wish there was a place, someplace else that he could go to. Maybe figure something out. But I don't know. Some of these parks. I haven't been to Magnuson Park very many times myself, so I really don't know much about it. But if there's a nice parking lot and it's in the open and everything, that'll be good. See, I was going to talk about something else. Oh yeah, Jim was saying pizza. Well, pizza, is okay, but I'm going to be chief cook and bottle washer for quite a while, for probably till into December. So pizza would get old. My cooking skills aren't too bad, but when you cook, you make a mess, and then you have to clean it up and wash the pots and pans. So that's the part that I don't like. So far, I haven't been using the dishwasher. I've just been washing them in the sink because we haven't had that many. And it seems to me like it's foolish to put them in the dishwasher. It would take a week or two for me to fill it up and then wash them with the dishwasher. So I've just been doing them by hand. So I don't know. I don't have too much else to say. It did cool down last night. I think I saw 43 degrees this morning when I got up. I got up at normal time about 6:30 this morning. A couple of mornings I slept in till 7 or after. So anyway, we've had some beautiful days. I just haven't been able to take advantage of them. I did go for a walk around the block this morning. I have been around the block walking for a week or two again. So let's see. I guess if I'm gonna, and I am gonna. This is gonna be my studio, I guess. So I guess I need a room divider or something behind me. I can see myself to the right. We have mirrors on our closet doors. There's a mirror behind me, and then there's the bathroom door, and then on my right, I see myself somehow. I guess that's maybe I don't know what I'm seeing over there on the right-hand side, but I'm seeing something. It'd be nice if I had a room divider, I think. I'm going to have to try to figure that out. So if this is going to be permanent, then I guess it will be. All right, I'm just babbling, so send it back to that KD7QKU.
87QKU, thanks for that. Well, let's go to the Western Washington Amateur Television Society's president, Bob, K9PQ.
Well, hey guys again. Well, Ron, I'm surprised you didn't mention the newsletter. I don't know if you've seen it today, but it's really quite impressive. And we have you to thank for getting Jim started on that. It looks like he took a lot of information from our website as well, which made me happy because I just updated our website and added some things, and that's where he got a lot of his information. So I was pleased about that, and he gave a link to our website as well, and on our website is a link to our Discord. So we may see some more people check in. At least they may want to get on Discord and exchange information with us. I think that might be a nice use of Discord, is to get some communication between clubs. Maybe we can get some people from other clubs to share ideas and thoughts on what they're doing. Let's see, Jim, you asked about streaming. Yes, I have another box that does essentially the same thing as the GrandStream, but it's digital. It takes an HDMI input rather than an analog input, but it encodes it for the internet and sends it up. At this time, I'm not sure where Wade is doing it, maybe from his own house, but Wade is basically accepting that signal now. So that's why we had the problem with the IP address, because with the GrandStream, I would send to the IP of the GrandStream at the repeater. While we're in this sort of transition, Wade is getting my IP, and he's connecting to my box at my home, and that's how he's getting this video and getting it onto the repeater and getting it to YouTube. So thanks to Wade for that as well, among all the other things he's doing. But yeah, that's how I'm getting a digital signal out of my house and to eventually onto the internet, or eventually rather onto the onto the repeater and to YouTube. And speaking of streaming, at the very start, Dave, you mentioned that on our website is a link to YouTube streaming. It's actually a little fancier than that. We have the YouTube streaming shown right on our website. You can also go from there to YouTube, but you don't even have to. You can just watch it right on our website, and it is the YouTube stream. That's interesting about Boeing rejecting the offer. I've been talking with Jessica a bit about it because, oh no, I'm forgetting her partner's name at the moment. But anyway, she works at Boeing and is involved in all of that, and so Jessica, of course, used to work at Boeing and is keeping tabs on all of that as well. And so I'm not surprised to hear that it was rejected by the rank and file, because Jessica was saying that the people that were doing the negotiating for the union thought they had a good offer from Boeing, but the rank and file disagreed. So that was some time ago. So apparently they just did it again. And Ron, bachelor cooking suggestions. Yeah, pizza of course is a good one, but that can get old. What I have taken to doing is can just microwave. The chicken, I used to microwave, but it really isn't very good. You really got to use the oven for the chicken. But, you know, those are some simple ideas, and you can, you know, save a lot of pan cleaning by foil lining your pans. And the other thing with your dishes, I do use my dishwasher for everything, not for pots and pans, but for all my dishes. And most of the newer dishwashers have something called like rinse and hold or something like that, where it'll just do a quick rinse of the dishes, and so you can do that each day so that you don't have food sitting there and drying on the dishes, and you don't have to do a full wash every day. So a couple of thoughts for you there. All right, I'll send it back. K9PQ.
K9PQ, thanks for that. And again, this is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net on the 08 machine. I'm Dave, KD7CYM. Well, let's go to Richard, K7ITX in Arizona.
Wow, I'm thoroughly amazed. Everything is really coming together now. Thanks to everybody. I wish I could have contributed a few things, but I really can't. But every member of the club has done something in a special way. Like Bob, K9PQ. I'm at the website right now on streaming. And then in addition to that, on my television, I have YouTube going, and they're almost exactly the same. I think in terms of reality, maybe, yeah, because I think 2 meters is closer to the present. These other guys are about 4 or 5 seconds in the past. So, you know, and that's an Einstein kind of problem now, if you want to think about it for a little bit. That, you know, people say you can't go back in history. Well, the heck you can't. I am right now, but in 5 seconds, I'm reliving history. So it's pretty cool. Just think if you could do the same thing, but more in terms of, you know, hours and days. If you could do it in minutes or in seconds, oh my God. Yeah, well, I guess that's what videotaping is all about. You can't really insert yourself in any of this, so I don't know. Maybe I'm just dreaming, you know, because that's the paradox of, you know, killing one of your parents, and then how could you do that because you didn't exist? So, you know, it just goes on and on and on, and pretty soon your mind just turns into jello. So anyway, this is becoming a family argument, the weather, because now that it's getting so nice, Debbie doesn't want to go back, and I do. I mean, I'm homesick. You know, what can I say? Well, we've already told the landlord we're going to keep our condo down here till June. So if that tells you anything, that doesn't mean we're going to be here all the time. But yeah, no, this is why people come here. The snowbirds are starting to show up and all that good stuff. So yeah. Well, here, let me take a break for a second. Well, I took a break because I've got some culinary advice for Ron, you know, as far as recipes and stuff. So a couple of my go-to deals are, I like to get, like if you could get, even at the Safeway Deli, get a chicken, but really, if you could get a chicken at Costco, bring that home, slice it up, get maybe pre-made nice because then you don't have to chop up all the red onions and the olives are there. And then just add the chicken and some croutons and bring out the ranch or the vinaigrette or whatever you like. And make these are in big bowls. These are chef salads I'm talking about. Well, by the time you're done, you're full, and they're healthy too. So that's one idea. And the other one, my really go-to, where my aficionado is tacos with the hard shell. I go with obviously, lean ground beef. Doesn't have to be, you don't want it too lean. You want it kind of medium because you use the oil to help absorb the taco seasoning. And you use that very liberally, and you simmer it for, quite a while. And then you taste it often, and if it isn't spicy enough, you just keep adding. Don't follow the directions on the package. You go by taste. And then you just let that simmer nicely. Grate up your sharp cheddar cheese. Slice up your iceberg lettuce and any kind of tomatoes. If you've done the seasoning right, you don't need salsa. You really don't. I never use it anymore because I've got it figured out. So there's two ideas for you. There's always the old standby of what the heck, hot dogs and chili. What do they call that? I don't know. I can't remember. Chili dogs. Yeah. There's nothing wrong with those. Not one little bit. Or and I'm talking quality hot dogs. Not, but not in a ballpark, Franks. They're not that. I'll eat one of those with sauerkraut. So there's three ideas that you probably already thought of, but and of course there's the go-to steak. I found that about a pound of filet mignon costs about $20, and you cut that in half, and that'll feed two people, along with the little baked potatoes, little tiny potatoes. Don't mess with your blood sugar.
Timeout. K7ITX.
So I don't know if I got it back. Sorry about that. I timed it out. Okay, well, I blabbered long enough. So I did want to say something to Wade. And Wade, you don't need to call me back. I think I've figured out what I was doing wrong. Discord can be intimidating to me, but if I just try to keep a level head, I usually figure how to get back on. It's important for me to be able to get on Discord with a laptop and not my phone, because I use my phone for echoing, and when they're two going at the same time, it's not as fun. But everything's working perfect. Like I say, I got YouTube on the TV, streaming on a website, and Echo Link on my phone, and I feel right at home. K7ITS, back to net control.
K7ITX, thanks for that. And for an ID, this is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net. On the 08 machine, I'm Dave, KD7CYM. Let's go to Wade, W7ATS in Tacoma.
All right, well, looks like my video is working. It is a little delayed. That's just because of the intermod. So you're going to see me kind of jerking around. So I move my hands here, it'll probably look like I'm not doing anything, but then it'll just stop. But yeah, you're seeing the both sides of the repeater now. So yeah, to comment on Bob's how he's getting video to the YouTube, it's actually going to Cougar Mountain, and then it's going to the streaming computer, and then from the streaming computer it goes to two places. It goes out to YouTube, and it also goes out to 1.2 gigahertz output, which is working perfectly right now. So we have a fully working repeater right now, and my video is really choppy, but hopefully we can get that under control soon. I did get a part in the mail the other day, and it's what I'm going to try to do is take the hard line and connect it directly to the receiver to kind of get rid of any potential for signal to get into the cabling. Because right now it's just a real simple jumper. I think it's like LMR 195 or 200 or something. It's not really that thick of a cable. But if we get that, and then there's some other ideas that I've been putting around to maybe dealing with some of the intermod. Maybe put a metal cage around the receiver, or put it in a box or something so that it doesn't get signal. But yeah, had my daughter over for dinner tonight, and she interviewed me for her school and asked me a bunch of questions about my job. So that was fun. And not as tired as I was in the last round, but definitely looking forward for the week, because the rest of the week I'm going to be in Orange County with my wife and kids, and we're going to celebrate my niece's birthday. Her 18th birthday is coming up, so we're going to do it in California. So, all right, well, that is it for me. I was getting a little hungry when Richard was talking about food, but it was short-lived because I did have quite a bit of food for dinner. We had Spam and rice. It was really good. Let's see, talking about Einstein. Yeah, I think you might have been talking about, it's called time dilation, which is a phenomenon that happens based on the size of your object that you're on. The bigger it is or smaller it is, it changes your time in relation to other objects. And actually, satellites, GPSs actually account for that. They account for that dilation, so they're not always skewed. That is it for me. This is W7ATS, back to net.
W7ITL, thanks for that. Let's go to Jim, N7QO in Covington.
N7QO, thank you, Dave. Well, Dave, sorry to hear that you have the sniffles there. I don't know, take care of yourself, take it easy a couple of days here. Thank you for mentioning about the Boeing contract. I did not hear that yet. I don't know. I wish everyone luck on that. Dick, talking about going back in time. Interesting you mentioned that. It happened to trigger something in my pea brain about a memory about a movie of some ham radio operator who used to be able to communicate with his father by way of ham radio. His father was dead. So, anyway, let's see. That movie was called Frequency. Haven't seen that in a number of years, but made me think of that. I don't know why I remember that, but I do. Ron, yeah, you're basically playing housewife there. Thanks for taking good care of Joanne. I can't say that I have any big suggestions. My wife is not a particularly good cook. Every now and then she comes up with some TV dinners which are edible. And since we've retired, we're eating a lot less food, and sometimes something like a TV dinner that's okay can be fixed up a little bit with some secret sauces, and just then add a salad or some fruit for dessert or something like that. Just a thought, you might try something that looks like it might be appealing, if there's any such thing. Let's see, Bob. I was listening to Wade describing what was going on there, and that's different than I was expecting. Glad to hear that. I had no idea that that's what was going on, but good to hear that. Let's see. Oh yeah, Dick, you said you going to be keeping the condo until June. I'm happy that you found a nice place there. You described that to us a couple of months ago, and it sounded like that's a really nice place. And many people do just spend the winters in southern locations. When I was in Texas, a lot of people would go to southern Texas for the winters, and other people go to Florida. And when I was in Arizona, it seems like the population would more than double during the winter months in the Phoenix area. So definitely popular for the winters. So maybe you should spend a little time enjoying that. Anyway, with the place you could go back and forth. So that's good. Let's see, Wade. Yeah, the receiver, if that's just in one of those little plastic boxes, that probably would be a good idea to get some sort of shielded enclosure and put that thing in there. The plastic boxes are not really all that resistant to RF, so that's a good thought, I think. I like that idea anyway. And then there's cabling, ferrite beads. I don't know. Anyway, lots more work to do, but thank you for making progress. It looks good, or at least it looked good when you were here, so I assume it's, listening to everyone else, people say they're getting good pictures, so that's really good. I'm actually more concerned that I might be unable to transmit a signal to the repeater now. I was concerned that I would even be able to receive anything, but you solved that problem, so thank you for that. But I know that the 70-centimeter antenna has not moved, and my understanding is there's a tower leg between me and that antenna, so don't know what's going to happen there, but I'll buy the receive decoder box and get that going, and then maybe I can get you or someone else to come here and we can try to transmit to Cougar and see what happens. But that's probably going to be for sure that more than a month out, maybe 2 months out. Back to you, Dave, and 7QO.
N7QO, thanks for that, and it's time to get another ID. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net on the 08 machine. This is Dave, KD7CYM. I'll pause momentarily in case anybody wishes to check into the net. Let's go to James, WU7N.
Well, Jim, yeah, I heard of the movie Frequency, but never did watch it. I'll have to watch it. I read on the internet, though, that if you want to communicate with the dead, you need a really good receiver. I'm not sure my equipment's quite good enough for that here. Probably good antennas, too. Let's see. Oh, yes. Richard, Debbie will win. You know, it's just she will. I hope whatever you guys decide, it works out well for you. It's nice to have the internet and Echolink. You can continue to join us. And let's see, someone else was mentioning about going back in time and killing your parents. Well, I'm glad to hear I'm not the only one that had mommy and daddy issues here. I thought I was the only one psychiatrically unbalanced. It's good to know there's other people on the net that are psychotic. But no, both of my parents died by natural causes. Oh, by the way, the lag I noticed was about 8 seconds, is what I caught on that. Bachelor cooking. Oh, wow. I remember I was, for a while, living in Alexandria, and there was a pizza place. It was just kitty corner across the intersection. We lived in a shop apartment, which, of course, means that there was an apartment that the building owner was renting out to us on the second floor, but on the first floor, there were all shops. And the hardest part of ordering a pizza whenever they got somebody new was explaining to them it was easier for us just to walk across the street and pick it up rather than have them deliver it, because they could never find where we lived. We were, 150 yards away from their front door, and they could never find us. They would always go up and down the street and all these different neighborhoods trying to locate us. But other than that, I remember macaroni, cheese, and tuna, where you mix the macaroni. You make the macaroni, and then you put the cheese and the tuna in a separate saucepan and mix it up with whatever you've got. That was a staple there, and then end up with a tuna casserole when you're done, or something close to it. I thought an alternate place for Bob rather than Magnolia Park would be Aurora Avenue after dark. You could, interview the entrepreneurs on the street, and, that'd probably be just absolutely much safer than Magnolia Park, but we'll have to wait and see. And Dave, thank you for mentioning that the BA contract vote. I had not heard that. I did hear that Boeing lost a satellite in geosync orbit. It apparently exploded, and we're admitting to 20 fragments up there. The Russians say there's 80 fragments up there now in geosync orbit, so that's not good. It was Intelsat, I think, was the customer. But so that's not going to help at all. The overall effort. So anyway, that's the only hot news I had on ticker symbol BA today. Well, it was good to talk to everyone tonight. I see we've got about 5 minutes left at the top of the hour. So with that, let me turn it back to Dave, our net control. This is James, WU7N in Northeast Bellevue.
WU7N, thanks for that. This is Dave, KD7CYM in Lake City. It's been a very good net this evening. For Bob, probably Kenmore would be a good place to get a signal out of up to the repeater from your place. It's at the north end of Lake Washington, and boy, you can really see line of sight up to the computer, up more up to Cougar Mountain with no problem from there. And then getting over to Ron, oh my gosh, lots of things, batching. There's always TV dinners, not the most healthy thing in the world, but by gosh, if you go to Costco, they've got pre-made meals that all you have to do is heat them up in the oven. They've got everything from tacos to macaroni and cheese to stuffed green peppers to salmon fillets to steaks to you name it, they have it. They've got just about anything you want, and then to go over to the frozen good area, they've got lasagna, and they've got a lot of Asian foods that all you have to do is thaw them out, put them in the oven. So endless amounts of food that you can find at Costco. However, they're generally always proportioned for about 4, so you might have to eat them for a couple of days if you do go that route. So this is Dave, KD7CYM in Lake City, and I got to say that I'm be joining the net here pretty soon. I now have got on order a receiver, a transmitter, and an amplifier, so we'll see how that comes out whenever it all gets together. So I'm looking forward to that, joining the net in a digital way. This is Dave, KD7CYM. So let's have the Ron, KD7QKU.
Okay, this is KD7QKU. Well, Bob, I didn't get the newsletter this week from Jim Andrews. That's really strange. I always get it. I don't know if you forward it to me or not. I don't know how I get it. But if you'd forward it to me, I'd enjoy reading it. That's for sure. And Jim, N7QO, when I was talking to I can't say his name now. I just drew a senior moment. But anyway, he was telling me that if you put in a 1 or 2 picture on 70 centimeter with analog, you'll be putting in a P5 picture with digital. The digital, he said, transmits much better than the analog did, and it goes through trees and leaves and stuff much better. So I was telling him that I was worried about my antenna, where it's located, and I could only put in a 2 or 3 P picture, and he said, oh, you won't have a problem at all. So that remains to be seen. And I'm the same way. I ordered a transmitter and I ordered an amplifier. So I ordered on the 17th, I guess, of the month, the transmitter, and I ordered the amplifier from Jim Andrews probably the day before. So, and I sent him the check. I sent him the check before he knew I wanted one. I tried to call him and he didn't return my call, but I'd already put the check in the mail. So anyway, he should have the check. So the stuff will be coming. And so Jim, I don't think you'll have any trouble getting into the transmitter, transmitting in on 70 centimeters. So at least I hope you won't. And I appreciate everybody's suggestions for food. I am doing okay. It's just that I'm a reluctant cook, I guess is what it is. I just hate to get in there and really do it. Joanne wanted me to make pork chops the other night, and I kind of didn't want to fry them in the frying pan. I could cook them. I have this little Cuisinart grill that Dave gave me a long time ago. I cook them in that outside. But then I got to clean that up. I just don't like the cleanup. So the idea of putting the pork chops in the oven, you know, in a pan lined with tin foil, I was tempted to do that, but I haven't. We do have a freezer full of food, and anyway, like I said, I'm going to do a pork roast, probably a little round. It's a loin pork roast, and then they're marinated. They're not very expensive, $6 to $8. You get them at any of the stores. Sometimes Safeway has them 2 for the price of 1. Anyway, good night all. 73. Thanks again, and look forward. My picture is just beautiful, so I really enjoy it. So KD7QKU, back to that. Bye-bye.
KD7QKU, thanks for that. And it's time to terminate the net for the evening. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net on the 08 machine. I'm Dave, KD7CYM. We'd like to thank the SeaTac Repeater Association for letting us use WW7STR's repeater 147.08 with a specific tone of 103.5 for this net. So on behalf of the Western Washington Amateur Television Society, this is Dave, KD7CYM, terminating the net at 9 o'clock. Good evening.